and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow host, Johnny Paulus. Johnny, welcome in on this fine Sunday. December 18th, Christmas week is upon us. Yep. This time next week will be Christmas Day. No doubt. So Christmas falls over a weekend. That kind of sucks for some people. Do you get any extra time off from work this week?
Yeah, I'm off early Friday, and I'm off Monday, and then I'm off the following Monday after New Year's as well.
Wow, yeah, they're both on the weekend.
They're both on the weekend, so yeah, we're just taking that Monday off.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, how are you this week, sir?
I'm doing good. I had a shorter week, so I took Friday off so I could do some shopping. And then this week I'm off Tuesday as well, so I can do my final little bit of shopping. But yeah, no, we're almost there. We knocked out, got my parents done, got the in-laws done. The kids are pretty much done. My main concern right now is my wife. I still got a couple more things on the list I've got to get. And the difficulty I have with my wife and the holidays is that her birthday is January 9th, and her entire life she's had disappointing birthdays because it's so close to Christmas. So I always have to be sure that I go a little harder on birthday than I do Christmas. And she appreciates that. She wants the big shit on her birthday because her entire childhood, it was like tons of stuff on Christmas. And then like, oh shit, right. Yeah. Your birthday's in 2 weeks. We just spent all the money. Sorry.
I have the absolute opposite conundrum. Christmas, of course, is 12/25.
Mm-hmm.
My birthday is 6/24. I always lucked out as a kid.
It's almost like the unbirthday of Christmas, basically.
Basically, yeah. I'd always get every 6 months, like a clock. It's the perfect birthday, if you ask me.
That's pretty good.
And it's like summertime. It was right when school let out, so I'd have time to play with all my cool new stuff.
Yeah, and you're not clashing with any other holidays either?
There's nothing. Yeah, I mean, Father's Day is a few weeks away, but nobody thinks about that until the last minute.
Correct.
Like, shit, I need to go buy a tie and some socks.
Yep. Lucky us.
But, so my week was maybe a little bit more remarkable. I once again traveled for work all week. I put 1,200 miles on my work car this week, toward basically the entire state of Virginia, in a torrid pace. Honestly, I mean the amount of ground I covered in the time I did was pretty astounding. And came home, slept for a night in my bed, which was great. And then Friday afternoon, after I was done with work for the day, got in the car. Me and Amy went down to Ocean City, Hawaii.
Hell yeah.
And we did Ocean City things. So Grotto's Pizza, of course, happened. We stayed at the Hilton, the main Hilton, oceanfront, which is massive. Like, I wasn't really clear on how big this place was. It's a goddamn monstrosity. So I was able to stay there for free, thanks to all the Hilton points I'd racked up at work.
Nice.
So we had a whole suite, living room, full kitchen, huge bath, hot tub in the room.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, just decked out.
Living it up.
Oceanfront suite. So we looked out one window. It was the Atlantic Ocean. We looked out the window on the other side, and you could see the whole bay. So, I mean, really just perfect place. And the restaurant downstairs was amazing. And part of my newly found Hilton Gold status is I get a $15 credit for me and up to one guest whenever I stay at a Hilton place. So this is a sit-down, pay-for restaurant with really, really good breakfast. I mean, it normally would have cost with tip like $50 a pop. We just get $30 off every time we go in. So,
damn, every time too. That's awesome.
Once a day. So yeah, we only ate there once a day. So That was awesome. We played 2 rounds of mini golf because there's 2 indoor places in Ocean City, and I mean that's kind of what you do there. You play mini golf and arcade games. There was the Winterfest, which is takes over one of the parks, and it's just a big walkthrough, like crazy light display. So we did that. Crab Cake Factory happened. Bull on the Beach happened. And we rounded out today. We went up to Rehoboth, and I went to a retro game store that had opened up there. Bought a copy of Grand Theft Auto for Game Boy Color, which was kind of cool.
Oh my god, I think I had that.
Yeah, the original like old school bird's eye Grand Theft Auto. Snagged that. We went to the outlets, bought a bunch of loose ends for Christmas, and then on our way out, I was like, "Yeah, let's go to Taco Bell." And as we're driving, Amy spots this place that it's like this all black building, and like in the AC/DC lettering, it says Taco Rejo. And she goes, "Huh, that looks like a taco place." I just go, she's like, "I was just saying it looks like a taco place." I'm like, "Nope, that's calling. We're going to eat there."
Oh, yeah.
And so we go into this place, Taco Rejo, and like the place is all murdered out. It's all black and like rock and roll. There's a huge stack of like shitty amplifiers in the center of the room, like a bunch of PVs and Squire practice amps and shit, just all mangled together into a fortress in the middle of the room. And there's a bar in the back, and there's this big plexiglass thing that kind of leads off the kitchen, and it's to their in-house matzo press that they have, and they're just feeding corn into it. There's this guy that looks like he murdered you and your entire family with a big beard covered in tattoos fucking working the matzo press. I'm like, and he's listening to People Equal Shit in the kitchen on like full blast as he's spoken.
Hell yeah, dude. It's my kind of place. Damn.
I'm like, this is awesome. So go in, and there are actual menus, but there's just a QR code on your table. So you just scan it with your phone, punch in your order, and check out, and somebody walks out with your food, which is awesome. So I got this thing called a mega burrito. And for those familiar with the Chipotle burrito, which we affectionately refer to as the nub, because it just sort of looks like an amputated arm, it's the size of 2 of those. I was like, what the delicious. So ate half, felt violently full, drove home, got to dinner time, ate the other half, and was violently full again. So what was that? $14 well spent.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So good trip to the beach. Now I'm back. I did play some games while I was down there, and I finally got some time to sit down on my PS5 today. So I guess without further ado, it's time to say welcome in to episode 97 of the Power Gamer Podcast. We're going to start this week's episode, as we always do, by first discussing games we've been playing this week. I've got the shorter list, so I'll go first. Obviously, Marvel Snap happened, as it always does. Next up, through my travels, which there were many, I seem to land every night on playing Vampire Survivors, which I had just like kind of played the game some before, and now I've like really played this game. And I'm beginning to be less and less surprised that I'm seeing this game included in a lot of publications that I respect's Game of the Year lists. In particular, Video Games Chronicle has it ranked pretty high in their Games of the Year for 2022. For it being a game that you basically can just, at some point, just let go of your controller and let the person stand there and kill shit and not even have to move around. It's a surprisingly fun game. All the levels are really different. The characters you unlock are cool. They just did a update where they added a bunch of new characters and stuff, new abilities, new weapons, all sorts of shit. But at its core, for you Game Pass users out there, it's on Game Pass, which is great. The cloud streaming for it works fabulously because it's such a tiny game. You would never need to cloud stream it because it's small ass size. I mean, it's like not even a gigabyte big. You can download it from anything and play it. But then even as I was traveling point to point in my car at rest stops and stuff, I was able to pull it up on my phone, do cloud streaming, and because it's a single stick movement game with no other button presses, it works great just streaming to your phone. So I played the absolute pants off of this game this past week. It's really fun. It's so stupid. Like, if I verbally try and describe it to anyone, you're just going to say, this sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard anyone describe. So I'm not going to try and describe it verbally. I'm just going to say, simply go play it. This is this year's Loop Hero. Loop Hero was a dumb game where you barely had to do anything, but it was crack. It was really fun, really addictive, and it was good. And Vampire Survivors is cut from that exact same cloth, but I think in a lot of ways it's much more entertaining than Loop Hero was. So Vampire Survivors, check it out.
Can I chime in there? I do want to point out that Vampire Survivors is also available on Steam for $5. It's also just came out on mobile this week. You can actually just fire it up right on your phone. And the DLC for it, I think, just came out this week as well, and it's $1.79 for DLC. You gotta love a DLC pack that's less than $2.
Yeah, it's very accessible. I would recommend everyone play this game.
I agree. It's a lot of fun.
So finally had a solid hour to sit and putz around with my PS5. I'm going to be playing a lot of PS5 this week. I'm done traveling for the most part. I've got to make some like day runs and stuff, but I've got time to play some video games. So I figured I'd get back into it with Callisto Protocol, as I was shocked to see that it's been almost 2 weeks since I've really been able to sit down and play this game. Thanks work travel. And I advanced pretty far tonight playing Callisto Protocol. And ladies and gentlemen, I've still yet to find the stink that all these reviewers are speaking of. So I guess I'll keep playing. But I kind of get that the game is built for Mike Dawson. It's a survival horror game. It's Glenn Schofield, who actually personally thanked me on Twitter this past week. I left him a nice comment. And I told him his game was rad, and that since patching it, it's only just become more rad. He liked that. So
awesome.
It has a lot of stealth to it. Maybe that's what's upsetting people. I don't know. Like, I love stealth. I love stealth games. And this has critical stealth, where like I see people complain about the difficulty and stuff and like being overwhelmed by enemies. I've never found a situation like that in this game where you weren't just supposed to sneak past shit and not notify the swarm of big bads that you were there. So I don't know. I've really not run into the bad in this game yet. Maybe it's just around the corner for me. Who knows? I'm very critical. So if bad shit pops up, I'll be quick to point it out. But so far, so good with Callisto Protocol. Not really understanding at this point the vitriol against it. So I would highly encourage anyone that's had bad experiences with it. Let me know. I mean, shit. Let me know. Hop on our Twitter when we make our post. Tell me about it. I don't care. Tell me whatever. Tell me what sucked, so I can look out for it. But as of right now, I would say, yeah, this is a game worthy buying. I understand that it's not super long, and that doesn't bother me. So I don't know. enjoying Callisto Protocol. So, Johnny, I don't know if you have anything to say about that. I don't think you've played that one yet, but
No, I got a few games I got to take down before I can move on to something else.
all right. So, I would definitely say keep that one, keep that one in the back of your mind. So, without further ado, then, sir, what have you been up to this week?
Also been playing Marvel Snap. But the two games that have been taking up the bulk of my time for the last few weeks are still the same. God of War Ragnarok. I mean, I ranted and raved last week about how great this game is, and I'm just gonna rant and rave some more. So far, this game is better than the first one in every way. The story is more involved, more settings, more twists and turns, more enemies. There's a lot to like here, and if you enjoyed the last one, you're gonna love this one. I'm starting to get to the point now where the characters are hinting at, hey, we might want to go wrap up some other stuff before we do this, which is typically an indicator that I'm kind of getting into like that last big mission push. So I don't know if I have 2 hours left or 6 hours left or whatever, but I'm getting near the end of a decently long game. I don't know what my hour count is on it, but I've put a lot of time into it. And then the other big one is Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns, I hit the 40-hour mark. The map has finally opened up quite a bit. So I spent 40 hours in New York City. 40 hours just fighting here and fighting there and fighting rooftops, and then now something big has happened, and there are now battles all around the world. Some more characters have been added to the roster. One of my favorite things that they did in this game, and I wish somebody had thought of this for XCOM, is one of the downsides with those type of games is you get people on your team that are under-leveled, and you're afraid to take them out on a mission because you know they're going to go out, they're going to miss every shot, they're going to get their ass kicked, they're going to die, right? Well, they have a new thing I've added to my training grounds now where Magic just has a permanent portal to the limbo zone, and any solo character can go in there. And the way the limbo training works is there are like 15 targets, and if you kill one, it refunds the card play. So you can basically just you can kill 10, 12 targets in one turn. You're getting XP for doing that, and if you die, you don't actually die. There's no repercussions, but you keep the XP. So it's really nice that like once a day, you just go look and go, all right, who's under-leveled? Okay, let's give Iron Man a little bit of time in limbo. You go pop in there, 10 minutes, kill a bunch of targets, level them up. It's a nice way to kind of farm XP. But I'm still loving this game. It's awesome. If you dig turn-based strategy tactics games, it's excellent. It's awesome. I also puttered around with a couple different games. One of them, High on Life, the new Justin Roiland, the creators of Rick and Morty's video game. I fired up. I played about the first 45 minutes or hour, and then immediately decided I have to play this on stream because this is fucking hysterical. The gameplay is not going to set the world on fire, but their sense of humor is awesome. The dialogue is great. The characters are just, the whole premise of the game and the characters and the setting and everything that you're put into is just so ludicrous. And it seems to be resonating with gamers because there's a lot of TikToks going around of different funny moments that people caught and stuff. So didn't get far into it, but I'm intrigued so far. One I did put probably 3-4 hours into. It was on sale on the Epic Game Store. I loved the last one, and I got trigger happy and I bought it. PC Building Simulator 2022. It's actually PC Simulator 2. I love these games. I am a PC fanatic. I enjoy building PCs, and especially if you enjoy building PCs, this is the game that you should play. Similar to if you like working on cars, you would like the car mechanic simulators. If you like, so it's that sort of thing. You basically work a PC repair shop, and the orders come in. Hey, my computer's been running a little weird. Can you take a look at it? And you take their computer and you put it down on the desk, and you plug the cables into it, and you run an antivirus, and you go, oh, your hard drive's bad. You buy them a new hard drive, put the new hard drive in. But as you get further into it, you start doing things like wiring LED lighting, overclocking the computer. Like there's actually like you turn the computer on and you go into BIOS and you change settings, and then you go into Windows and you stress test it to make sure it's not overheating. If that sounds incredibly boring to you, don't play this game. But if you enjoy building PCs, it's awesome. I love it. I love it. If you've ever enjoyed building your own PC building simulator might be something fun for you to check out. But yeah, that's it for me for this week. But I'm getting very close to beating God of War. I don't know what I'm going to move on to after that, but I'm definitely going to keep on snapping, and I'm definitely going to keep on Midnight Suns. And
I hope to go on one of those death marches where I clear Callisto and God of War this week, even though I've not even started the latter.
It's a big boy.
You know old Mikey though.
I know how you do. I do. I don't doubt you for a second.
I can shred some fucking Vigi games, and boy, do I need to get on it. I need to get on it because there's so much out right now that I need to play. Well, very good. That wraps up what we've been playing this week. I didn't want to do it, but I've got to do it. Kids, gather around. Gather around, everyone. It's time to talk about Twitter. Twitter, of course, is a very important place to the content creator and gamer space, as well as it is many other facets, many other like politicians and athletes and novelists and all sorts of other things. But today it felt appropriate to address Twitter on the Power Gamer podcast, as I would say that some of the recent changes affect what a lot of our brethren do in the content creation space. So we've dodged this topic on our show, but it's time to address it. Twitter, of course, is a somewhat important place where a lot of folks in our industry attempt to network with one another and build their brands. But in reality, it's a really empty place where not much happens except for an extreme few. And, way too much attention is often placed on Twitter. However, today, the guise has been shattered, the facade of Twitter, as some new restrictions have come about. So, and we'll see how long these last for. I mean, things seem to be coming and going and turning heads, but today's announcements from Twitter support really got some people pissed off. So,
yep.
Basically, here's what happened today: is Twitter support came out and said, "Dear Twitter users, you will no longer be able to post things directing towards other platforms." So, what does that include? So, Facebook and Instagram, of course, I would say are the biggest two. It goes on to list Mastodon, which I'd never heard of until today. Truth Social, which is Donald Trump's social media site.
Yep.
Tribal, no idea what that is. Post and Noster. So a whole bunch of social media things that old man Mike Dawson isn't hip to. I'm hip to Facebook and Instagram, and I know what Truth Social is because of Twitter, because it was big news that Donald Trump wanted to leave Twitter and start his own social media platform, which I'm shocked to hear still exists, honestly.
It still exists.
So beyond Facebook and Instagram, it goes on to state that third-party social media link aggregators, such as Linktree, will no longer be allowed. So this is interesting. And it's interesting because a lot of what Twitter is used for is, I would say, small fish in the large pond trying to grow their brands. And the way that you grow your brand is often by pointing towards things in more relevant spaces because, let's face it, a content creator can build a career or build a following on Twitter, like guys like Wario64 have, that just post whatevers. However, even his business model seems to be in danger here as Twitter is now restricting what kind of content you can link towards. So some of the questions that come to my mind are, that's an interesting line in the sand to draw that doesn't exist on any other social media platform.
Correct.
Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, of course, prior to Elon Musk's purchase of the company, which he did try and get out of, have been fine with this kind of activity taking place. So it puts the platform in an interesting position right now, where it is currently, and by all rights, the most restrictive space on the internet, when no doubt it was Mr. Elon Musk who had come in saying that, the restrictive nature of Twitter was going to be done away with.
Yeah.
And we would see more freedom there than we could fucking handle. But meanwhile, this past week, we've just seen journalists suspended from the platform, new rules put into place, and now, of course, this, which affects people from our cloth, the Twitch streamers, the podcasters, etc. Because frankly, I mean, for Power Gamer Podcast, if we can't push you out from Twitter to our link tree to check out what we do, it's kind of fucking worthless to us. Like that's all we want. That's our whole goal of being there. So I can imagine that most people who operate on Twitter operate there for similar reasons. So Johnny, that's a lot to break down, but sort of where are you at with all of this? How do you see things here?
Well, the really frustrating thing is all this drama of Elon coming out and saying, I'll buy Twitter, was when there were a lot of like anti-vaxxers, stop the steal, people that were trying to promote provable falsehoods on Twitter would get, and the thing is, it wasn't even like they were banned from the platform. They would just get the disclaimer under their post. Facebook does the same thing. If I try reposting some anti-vax thing that's absolute horseshit, right? There will be a thing underneath. It's like, hey, by the way, you might want to know the facts on this before you dig too much into this. Well, I want to look at it. And Elon was the one saying, nope, freedom of speech. Here I come. I'm going to come save Twitter and bring freedom of speech. And then the first announcement he makes is, well, if you want a blue check mark, that's going to be $8 a month. The point of the check mark was, that Bill Murray with a check mark, I don't know if he has a Twitter, but just as an example, you'd know that that's the real Bill Murray. But now anyone can spend the $8 and say, I am Bill Murray. And, they have to put parody in their account name or whatever. But this is a mess. And you're right. Twitter is the hub to get to other things. That's what Twitter is. News sites are on there to go, here's our news report. Podcasters are on there to go, hey, check us out. Here's our link for the new episode. Twitch streamers are on there going, hey, I'm going live. Here's my Twitch link. Now, thankfully, Twitch isn't included in this list here. But this really feels like a dictatorship. It doesn't feel like freedom of speech. It feels like somebody going, I need to find out how to make more money here. And when he starts banning reporters for saying things that he doesn't like, And then people start, and by the way, I'll explain what Mastodon is. Mastodon is a Twitter alternative. There's a couple now that have sort of popped up because of all this drama with Twitter. So you'll see lots of people going, hey, here's my Hive account, and here's my Mastodon account. Nobody really knows if either of these websites are going to take off. Who knows? I think we all remember when there was a bunch of drama with Facebook, and we didn't know if everybody was going to jump from Facebook to, I don't even remember what the fucking thing was called. But we're in this really weird spot now where now Elon Musk today posted a poll that said, should I step down as head of Twitter? Yes or no? I will obey the vote of this. I don't have the exact quote. I'm sure you're probably Googling it as I talk about it.
I was seeing if we can get an update on the poll, because, yeah.
Last time I looked, it was 58% yes, you should step down.
Yeah.
This is madness. I mean, that what made Twitter so interesting is that it was sort of uncensored. Right? I mean, that like there are sex workers that can freely promote their OnlyFans or their whatever, and then you could click the next page and here's Dan Rather's thoughts on what Trump said last week. And I think there's kind of a cool lifeblood of the internet facet to that on Twitter, and it's a shame that somebody can just come in and say, well, I don't like that, so I'm going to turn that off. I don't like that, I'm going to suspend that. Oh, you have another? No, you know what? We shouldn't let people promote their other. If they can't promote their other shit, then why are they on Twitter? I mean, that's you made the perfect point, right? We are on Twitter, my Hell Hero account and the Power Gamer Podcast account. We are there to go listen to our podcast, check out my live stream. That's why I'm there. Yes, I love to browse through Twitter. I love to see what's going on. I like to check the trending and see what the internet's talking about. But the fact of the matter is that most of those people are there to sort of peddle their wares, right? I mean, it's like the bazaar of the internet. It has everything you could possibly imagine is there. You want to find a bunch of crazies talking about the Earth being flat and all the 87 articles about why the Earth is flat? That's there. It's right over here, right? That's what makes Twitter interesting and makes it the crazy dumpster fire that it is. And that's why Twitter's so fascinating. But yeah, to just come in and be like, freedom of speech. And then now he's like permanently suspending news reporters for posting certain things, linking certain things that, by the way, are not false or not outside of their realm of their job duties. I mean, they're just reporting what's happening and getting banned for it. That's not how the United States is supposed to work. That's the type of shit you see in North Korea. That's the type of shit you see in China, where they go, nah, you know what? The government doesn't like that, so we're gonna turn that off. And that's typically not how social media has ever been handled, at least in America. I mean, I'm sure it is elsewhere.
To be clear, though, I'm fine with social media operating that way. You know what I mean? Because it is one thing when it's a social media site versus your government.
No, that's true. I know, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that he's treating it like a dictatorship. I mean, he owns Twitter. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He can burn it to the goddamn ground, yeah.
He can burn it to the goddamn ground. It's his company. He can do whatever he pleases with it. But the fact of the matter is that if enough things are taken away from Twitter, the internet will find another way. Ladies and gentlemen, there was once a day when all of us, probably not our younger listeners, but when all of us had a MySpace account.
Yep. I don't really remember what happened to that shit. We just all stopped using it someday.
Everybody just switched to Facebook.
Yeah.
And I don't see any reason why, Mastodon or Hive or I don't even know what Tribal Post or Nostr are. But any of those could be the one. If Elon tightens that grip any tighter, there's going to be a whole lot of people saying, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable at this point. I mean, obviously, if he follows his word on this poll and steps down as leader, okay, who actually, he still owns the company. Yeah. So I don't even, it's all very childish to me.
Super childish. I agree. Yeah, it's like a kid with a new toy.
It's weird, but I guess one of the things I do kind of want to like remind everyone about when we're talking about Twitter is, yes, everything that's happening right now is pretty stupid. It's pretty dumb. But honestly, if I had blocked Elon Musk, right, and none of my friends were talking about what's going on, I wouldn't be any the wiser. I really wouldn't, because
I have noticed one thing. Sorry, continue. I'm sorry, my bad.
You can have it back in a minute.
Mhm.
But I really wouldn't be any the wiser to what's going on right now, because most of my Twitter feed, I've made an effort over the past several months to block anyone talking about anything political, regardless where it falls. Just if it's a political post, block instantly. Block the person, whoever. Don't care who it is, because I'm trying to clean that shit up so I can go back to just being like video games and stuff.
Yeah.
So if it weren't for me not having Elon Musk blocked, and it weren't for a few of my friends talking about it, honestly, I wouldn't know what the fuck's going on, and it just looked like the same old to me. That I'm saying that to set up my next point, which is that you don't matter on Twitter.
Nope.
99% of you listening right now, well, actually, I might even go so far as to say 100% of you listening right now don't matter on Twitter. Now, that could change years from now if this show ever goes anywhere and takes off. Great. But at this point, we're pretty small, so I can probably say with confidence that if you're listening to me talk about this right now, December 2022, you do not matter on Twitter. You don't. Twitter serves the 1%. It always has. Twitter serves people who have other platforms on which they could share their message. You are ultimately not affected by anything that's going on right now if you're listening to me talk. Even the most successful people that I'm friends with, IRL, that use Twitter, Twitch partners, etc., you're not getting anything from Twitter. You're not finding new audiences and things. The person who Twitter serves is either someone that already has a huge following or someone that did something really fucking stupid that they went viral for. And that's about it. You know, I saw this guy who flipped out on some girl in his chat this week for saying that her mom died in chat after he asked how she was. And he goes on this big, long tirade about, you know, not trauma dumping in my chat, this and that, and being a complete dickhead. So this goes viral. And it worked out great for him. It really did, because it brought a ton of people to his channel. You know, for everyone that thinks this guy's a dickhead, there's another person on the internet that thinks he's cool for being an asshole. I'm not gonna give him any free press here.
Nope. But misogyny sells.
You can find it. So that's who Twitter serves. Twitter doesn't serve you in your link tree. Yeah. Twitter doesn't serve you in your product. If you're trying to grow on Twitch, the best thing you can do is stay on Twitch. Sure, is it important to have a Twitter? Yeah, maybe. You know, you might get lucky. You might get fire in a bottle. Me and Johnny have both got fire in a bottle here and there. Johnny's had luck with Mark Hamill. You know, so can it happen? Yeah, sure, by dumb luck. But for the most part, Twitter's not doing anything for you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be upset about what's happening, but I'm saying that the whole point of this rant, and then Johnny, I'll give it back to you. But the whole point of my rant right now is to say, gauge how upset you are versus how much it actually affects you. And I'm just reminding you that it doesn't affect you very much. It's okay to be upset. You totally should be upset. But don't go fucking crazy over this. It really, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't it doesn't matter. Just sit back and watch. I mean, things are changing every 5 seconds over there. So,
Yep.
Who the fuck knows? Anyway, that's all I have to say on it. Johnny, back to you.
Sure. So the thing I was going to say about one thing that I've noticed has been different with Twitter since Elon's taken over, and it makes sense that you didn't have this experience because of what you said previously, where you make it a point to block political people. The biggest thing that I've noticed has changed since Elon has taken over. I see far more right-wing GOP people that I do not align with in any way, shape, or form being amplified on my feed far more than I ever had seen before. The Marjorie Taylor Greens, just the Lauren Boeberts, stuff like that, where it's just like, what are you doing on my feed? People that I normally only ever see on Twitter if somebody's on television making fun of their tweet. That's my experience with their Twitter. But yeah, that was the one thing I noticed. It was a little strange that it felt like maybe 2 or 3 weeks after Elon had like really taken over, I started seeing a lot more of those type of posts in my feed. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. I don't know. It was the one thing I noticed. But you're right. I mean, to kind of sum up your point and agree with you, to most of us, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Getting a video on YouTube that gets 1 million views is far more impactful to whatever your content creation career, whatever your pursuits may be, far more impactful than a tweet that gets 1 million views or 1 million retweets. I mean, far more impactful. So all the other platforms, I would argue, are a lot more important. But I mean, it is, I think the reason why people are upset about it is, like I said before, a lot of news breaks on Twitter and kind of breaks through the mainstream in a lot of ways. I understand what you're saying about, it is the top 1%, and I do agree with that point. But there are also a lot of news stories that you see on Twitter and you see a reel and you see a video of it happening, and then you won't see anything on the news about it. You know what I mean? And that's what I worry about losing, is if we have somebody that goes, I don't like that content, I'm going to pull it, then where does that content go, right? And because all these other platforms, you can't have, there are taboo posts that you cannot make, right? You cannot post nudity on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, right? You can't post videos of violence. So if I caught video of a cop beating someone up, I wouldn't be able to put that on some other social media accounts. So that's my concern, is that Twitter has kind of, even though they claim that it wasn't freedom of speech, it kind of was where freedom of speech on the internet sort of lived. People could put it on Twitter and for the most part get away with it and let it live. And sometimes it grows and becomes a viral tweet, and sometimes it doesn't. But, it just, I just wish I could sit him down and be like, bro, you spent $44 billion on this. Can you just think about the decisions that you're making? Just talk it over with a few people. Go, hey, what would you do in this situation? What's your opinion? I'm sure he's got people around him that would give him some ideas and go, no, that's not a good idea. But he's so much I'm king boss man, that whatever idea he comes up with, he thinks is gold and is going to just it's been just blunder after blunder, and it won't stop. I think that's why people are pissed. It's just never ending. What now? God damn. Give it a break.
Yeah, he's definitely, in the old verbiage of any press is good press.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely got people's attention, but yeah, it's just all annoying, is what it boils down to. And I would just remind everyone to take a breath, put things into perspective, and don't let weird, senseless internet drama that you're really not a part of affect you too deeply. That being said, let's talk about something that's trending on Twitter.
See what we did there?
So brings us to our next topic. Speaking of Twitter, Johnny, Hogwarts Legacy is trending on Twitter just out of the blue on a normal December day. Now, why could that be? Why could that be? Hogwarts Legacy, of course, is the upcoming open world amazeballs-looking game.
Looks so good.
That takes place in the Harry Potter universe. Of course, hundreds of years before the movies that we're also familiar with. But the game's coming out in a few months. It looks incredible. But there's much controversy around anything that J.K. Rowling touches. And we've talked about it before here some on our show.
Yes, we have.
So I'm going to lay out why it's trending on Twitter. So Jesse Earl posts. Jesse Earl, for those unaware, Jesse Earl is a transgender woman. And they post on Twitter, "I will not begrudge anyone their love of past works or thing they already own that they take comfort in. I own the first 9 movies," referring to Harry Potter, of course, "and all 7 books myself. But any support of something like Hogwarts Legacy is harmful." So Jesse's point here is that the things in the Harry Potter universe you bought prior to J.K. Rowling's very public opinions about transgenderism came out, are okay because you bought them not knowing the politics, I suppose would be the right thing to say, of the person who ultimately you're financially supporting. But, however, supporting Hogwarts Legacy is harmful because now you're aware. J.K. Rowling replies, deeply disappointed in Jesse Earl, doesn't realize Pure Think is incompatible with owning anything connected with me in any form. The truly righteous wouldn't just burn their books and movies, but the local library, anything with an owl on it, and their own pet dogs. Hashtag do better. Johnny.
And this is why Twitter is a dumpster fire. Okay. I actually disagree with both people here. I don't agree with either side. I think J.K. Rowling was overly a dick, and I think Jesse Earl was overly a dick as well. As much as I disagree with J.K. Rowling's take on transgenderism and acceptance of such, and which we've touched on this, there's not a lot that she's really actually said out that's like.
I guess I'll do the quick aside here because I'm
sure.
I'm not afraid to speak in terms of fact. This is going to sound bewildering to some, but I've followed JK pretty closely throughout all this. Yeah. Although I don't agree with her, I can, however, highlight what she's actually said. She is not anti-trans in that someone who is anti-trans would think that trans people don't have a place to exist. That she is not. She is, however, been very vocal that a trans woman to her is not the same as a woman. She has, and this is really where all the flack around her has come from, is there's a body of people who think one is the same as the other and equal, and there's another body who does not think that and thinks that there should be a distinction made between biological women and trans women, and that the two aren't the same. So JK has caught a lot of flack because she vehemently observes the difference between a trans woman and a biological woman and thinks that there should be protections in place for biological women that aren't mutually exclusive to both. That is what she has said, and that is the hill that she's been dying on for the past 2 years. Continue.
So to comment on Jesse Earl's comment of, look, I enjoyed it when I was younger and these other things hadn't happened, and that's okay. I get to still enjoy them. But you don't get to enjoy the new stuff because that's bad. If you enjoy that universe, if you enjoy the characters, if you can honestly watch that trailer and not say, holy shit, I want to play this game, I can't get down with that. There's too many other people, artists that work on this game and have been working on this game for many, 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 many years that do not side with J.K. Rowling, do not speak for J.K. Rowling, do not agree with the same things that J.K. Rowling says. As much as I understand cancel culture and why it exists, and sometimes I agree with it, guess what, Kanye West? I don't think you should sell another record. Sorry. But when it comes to stuff like this, where, J.K. Rowling has a controversial opinion. I do not agree with it. I do not support her opinion, but I do support her right to say it. And I do support everyone's right to consume whatever the fuck art they wish. That's it. I mean, if you want to play the game, play the fucking game, and you shouldn't be guilt-tripped into it. But, that being said, J.K. Rowling did not need to take part in this conversation at all and say, well, if you were really truly righteous, you'd burn the library and your pet dog, and what the fuck? Both those tweets are shitty.
Yeah, so here's where I stand on all of this, because this is a podcast, and people, if you're listening, you're here to hear where I stand on this. Choose your actions carefully. Choose your actions carefully. There is no fence riding in this world. You cannot ride a fence. You are one or you are the other. And I strongly encourage people to begin analyzing themselves to figure out what they are. You cannot enjoy something in the past and something new and not have taken a side. If your point is that you can enjoy the things before you knew, but you cannot enjoy the things after, I call bullshit on that. Jesse Earl, you're riding the fence. Let's take a clearer example. And I think part of the reason why JK is confusing to a lot of people like Jesse is because it's not very clear. Let's take something that's more clear. Let's talk about R. Kelly.
Yep.
So we're all familiar with what R. Kelly has done. Horrific, terrible, awful shit. And R. Kelly has some pretty amazing songs that I don't listen to anymore, because I can't listen to an R. Kelly song without thinking about the terrible shit that he's done. Lost Prophets. This is a deeper cut.
Oh, yeah.
I can't listen to the fucking Lost Prophets because their lead singer raped a baby.
Yep.
Okay. Kanye West is falling in this too. He says Nazis are cool. He's down with Nazis. Guess what I'm not down with? Nazis. I'm super not down with them.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter that College Dropout came out before he went crazy.
Fully agree.
I'm not listening to it. So, look, Jessie is a prime example of this with her tweet, in that you can't play this game. If you feel that what JK has said and what JK is doing is truly harmful and bad, then you need to pick your side. You can't play this fence riding game. But I think where a lot of people struggle with JK is that nothing that she's said or done is truly that awful. I'm fine coming out and saying that. I mean, it's just not. Who knows hundreds of years from now what the world is going to think? The whole trans thing is confusing for a lot of people. And being the pariah of the universe right now in 2022, being a white male, it's tough to have to even feel like you have the understanding of having a say of even what it's like to be a woman, let alone a trans woman. I don't know. I didn't have to go through that shit. JK's been through something that I don't know about. Yeah. And she seems pretty fucking passionate about how she feels. So I don't think it's up to me to tell her that she's wrong, so long as what she's doing is not hurting anyone. I mean, this is one of those classic arguments where it's like, how do you pick who's right and wrong here?
Well, I think what the internet in general needs to understand and try to adjust to as we go through these cultural changes, what I think needs to stop is the last sentence in Jesse Earle's tweet. But any support of something like Hogwarts Legacy is harmful. Had her tweet said, I find comfort in the original movies and the original books because I wasn't aware of any of these things that J.K. Rowling has said. But now that those things have been said, I will no longer be supporting any other product that she is tied to. I do not intend to buy this game, and that's where I stand. And I would have no problem with that. Let your dollar make the decision, right? Guess what? Kanye Records he's gonna sell less records, right? He's gonna sell a whole lot less records, and it's not because people on the internet went, "You better not support Kanye now," right? That's not how it works. The same point you made with R. Kelly. I can't listen to R. Kelly anymore.
No,
You're not on the internet going, by the way, anyone who listens to R. Kelly should take a look in the mirror.
You know,
if you can enjoy the song and not think about it, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Whatever. Listen to whatever the fuck you want to listen to. Play whatever game you want to play. That's how this is supposed to work. And I hate this. You shouldn't do X because why do I have to listen to what the fuck whoever says on the internet? I don't care. I saw the trailer. The game looks dope. I want to play it. That's it.
Yeah, I don't let politics dictate every aspect of my life.
Dude, I'm going to put that disc in the PlayStation 5, and both of my kids and my wife and myself are going to play the shit out of it. And guess how many times I'm going to think about J.K. Rowling's opinion on trans rights? 0.
None.
And I support trans rights. Again, I fully disagree with any of her stances on those things. It doesn't affect my gaming experience. Whatever. I don't. And that's the thing is if what she has said icks you out and it yucks your yum and you can't enjoy it, that's okay. Don't buy it.
Yeah, no one's saying you have to play the game.
Right. You're not being forced to play it. If you can't get over that, similar to the point that Mike just made with R. Kelly, then don't play the game. Just don't tell everybody else they can't play the game. That's my only beef. Well, you want to play the game, play the game. I don't care.
No one's listening to the side that says don't play it. This is actually the most wish-listed item on Steam.
Can't wait. I mean, so good.
The momentum and hype around this thing is for real.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just write Jesse Earle off. I mean, I am being very critical of the fence riding thing being posted. But I don't think the point is anywhere near it.
Yeah. Well, and I don't pretend to know or understand the trans struggle. I mean, I it's not an experience that I've had, and I don't.
Well, I can say this much definitively: not a dollar that enters J.K. Rowling's pocket does anything to stop the advancement of your cause. Not a thing.
Very true.
J.K. Rowling has over $1 billion already. She spends a lot of her money on feminist groups. She spends a lot of her money on rape centers. And overall, I mean, as much as you might hate her, she does do a lot of good. And she genuinely seems to come from a place of well-being and doesn't really spew hate and vitriol. Does she act a bit childish sometimes? Yeah, like we're noticing a lot of billionaires do.
Yeah.
And sure, I'm not so naive as to think that anyone with $1 billion didn't won over somebody at some point.
Yep.
But the other side of that coin is you're not going to affect a billionaire's pocket. Doesn't matter how much money this game makes. It could not sell a single copy. And guess what? She's still a billionaire.
Yeah.
Still got $1 billion. It could sell 10 million, 20 million copies. And she's not even going to notice the change in her bank account.
Very true.
You cannot undo her success. It's already happened. That ship sailed. You're not going to cancel J.K. Rowling. She's been on this for 2 years and doesn't stop and apologizes to no one. Why? Because she has fuck you money. So any action you take here is purely on principle. And I'm not saying that that's not worth doing. If on principle you say, I feel like supporting this goes against my core beliefs as a human being, God bless you. Do what's right for you. And if you want to try and get support from other people to do the same, you're free to do so.
Yep.
But don't condemn people that buy a video game.
Yeah, that seems silly.
You know, this game's already rolled. Troy Levitt was one of the people that was one of the early heads that rolled from this game. And certainly, if you'd like to see much more questionable content that's been posted on the internet, go check out that man's YouTube. So, yeah.
Facts.
I don't know. There's no real way to conclude this, I think, with anything definitive, because we're definitely, I don't think either one of us is one of those people that's going to stick our flag in something to say, this is how you need to align politically to get out of this conversation. That's just not who we are. You know.
Yeah.
If you're of the mindset that the game needs to be banned, that's fine. Doesn't upset me. And if you're of the mindset of, I think the game looks cool and I want to play it, you know what? That's fine too. That also does not upset me. There are other ways to achieve the things that we're trying to achieve, and none of them have anything to do with a video game. Keep your eyes on the things that matter in this world. They're not the video games being released. They're not the billionaires' pockets being lined. It has that those are all distractions that people will spend hours and hours debating, getting mad about, unfriending people, unfollowing people over. And at the end of the day, you have blown hot air into a balloon that comes undone and blows away in the wind, and nothing will change. So I guess the best way to end this segment is to remind you that you need to vote. You need to look for corruption in your government. And you need to fight that shit. Because that's ultimately where change comes from. It's not going to come from Hogwarts Legacy.
Nope.
Make sure everyone has the same freedoms, regardless of what gender they identify as, what sex they identify as, what religions they have, and what political viewpoints they have.
And who they choose to love.
Equality comes from your government. Look to countries that aren't as free as the United States. Saudi Arabia, China.
Yep.
There are a lot of places much further behind us. So stop us from becoming that. Stay focused on your government. Stay focused on your local elections, and make sure that freedom is protected at all costs. J.K. Rowling, you get an L for being a billionaire and being a dick.
Facts.
And Jesse,
Yep.
Just choose a side. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Burn it all.
Yep.
Burn it all, Jesse. You want to do it, I can tell.
And who are you to tell my kids that they can't enjoy? Like, I mean, that was your escape when you were a kid. Why can't my kids do that? What the fuck?
Remember my a conversation from 30 minutes ago where you're nobody on Twitter. Just full of self-importance.
Yep.
That's all it is. So,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen, we'd be interested to hear what your takes are on this. So when we inevitably make our post on Twitter at powergamercast,
Without the Linktree link.
yeah, I guess we have to take that down, don't we?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. We're interested to hear your politically charged and or neutral thoughts on the matter. So without further ado, Johnny, it is time. You were worried about time before the episode started. I told you.
I know, I was.
I told
Look at
you.
us, 106.
I was like, dude, I crafted a meaty episode. I'm doing the Italian.
It was.
I crafted us a meaty episode, and yeah, it was great. So finally, it's time for our last segment. That segment is, of course, called Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. It's time for One Up. I can't believe the drop worked on the first press tonight. What's good, Riverside?
Yeah,
man, y'all really stepping up your game. The soundboard's fucking working. That's incredible.
It's good shit.
Yeah, Johnny, you've written Summer Sausage.
Yeah, buddy.
So...
I just wanted to remind everybody that one of the greatest things that you could possibly spend your money on, there's a limited window when you can find it everywhere. It is during the holidays. Don't forget to grab your summer sausage, okay? They have it everywhere. It's at Target. It's at the grocery stores. It's all over the place. You know, get one, maybe two. Get some Ritz crackers, cheese of choice, doesn't matter. And just, enjoy one of the finer things of the holiday season, which is the wondrous summer sausage.
What is summer sausage?
You don't know what summer sausage is? So if you've ever had like a holiday snack pack where it comes with like a cheese stick and it comes with the crackers, the summer sausage, it's like the big cold, you slice chunks of it and put it on a cracker. If you've never had summer sausage, I don't know if I can speak.
Oh, I've had this before. I never would have called it out.
It's like salami, but better.
It is.
It's the best thing to put on a cracker. It's
so for those
good.
that weren't familiar that it actually had a name, like myself.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that comes in those like Sam's Club charcuterie gift bags.
Yep, that's the stuff.
We're calling out the charcuterie gift bag sausage.
God, dude!
Did you get
better
one from
on a
work?
Ritz cracker than
Did you
anything.
get one from work?
No. I always buy. I buy my summer sausage, good sir. The moment I see them, the moment the holiday season is starting to rear its head, and I see that big summer sausage log at the grocery store, it's in the cart, baby. Love summer sausage.
I don't know that I can top that.
You are shooketh right now.
I don't know that I can top summer sausage.
It's the shit, bro.
My goodness.
So good.
I can't fucking top that.
Are you really not going to drop a one?
I mean, after summer sausage.
Oh God, it's so good though. Come on, somebody right now is listening, going, "Yeah, man, Johnny gets it. Johnny fucking gets it. He's right. I haven't bought my summer sausage yet this year. I got to go get on that.
I'm flabbergasted. Like I don't even know what to say after summer sausage.
You're just gonna take the L and not drop a 1-up. Huh?
I've never not dropped a 1-up before, but it's just like, what do I do now? Do I talk about indoor mini golf after we've talked about summer sausage?
You can talk about indoor mini golf.
It's mini golf and it's inside. It was warm and it was cool. You should play mini golf.
Yep.
Indoors, the wintertime.
Yeah,
and after you're done,
get you some summer sausage, baby.
Summer sausage with Johnny Hollis.
That's right. Don't sleep on it.
My 1-up this week is, and I'm good. I'm out.
Okay.
I've got nothing.
Taking the L.
I'm completely flabbergasted right now with the summer sausage thing. Now I kind of want some.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you do. I'm telling you, man, Ritz crackers, a summer sausage, and whatever cheese you prefer. Trust me.
How about some Gruyere cheese with my summer sausage?
That's great. Some Munster cheese, also good. A little Colby Jack, maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back again next week with another great episode of the Power Gamer Podcast. That is, of course, unless Johnny dies from a heart attack eating all of this well-preserved fucking sausage. Oh, God. Until then, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
Tune in next time. See what I did there?
I see what you did there, yeah. Catch you all the flip-flop. Sorry, you threw me off with the swine.
Ooh, yeah.
There it is. See you next week, guys.